Hello team, this is Madison, your programmer here. This is our first demo level of Silent Song. Woo! We have in it our layers already set up. Over here in the world outliner, you can see we have our background and our layers. Layer 1 is going to be our front layer here. As you can see, we can just select everything in it, and there's all of our assets in our first layer. We have layer 2, and that works the same way. I'm just going to let you guys put it on trust that it does. It's a pain in the butt going through there. We have our teleporting system now in place, working with Aria's teleport ability. All of our teleporters here, as you can see, we have them scattered throughout the level and at the bottom to catch the character in case we fall off. This front one here is set to teleport back to the start. This one here is set to teleport to our midway checkpoint right there, which is also going to be in the middle of our first boss fight. That little room back there is where we're gonna stage that. Also in the level we have our first enemy. We have both the character and the AI in place. As you can see, his little flipbook is running even here in the editor, doing his little idle animation. Attached to him we have his attack hitbox. I have a very simple rudimentary attack system in place right now, just because we don't have any animations for attacks or anything. As we go, it'll get more complicated, and we'll have swinging hitboxes and actual frames where you're going to be struck. Down here we have a capsule component, and what this does is this is part of our AI's platform navigation system. It'll detect any collision with a platform on it, and once it goes off into space, it'll return a no platform detected, and our character will know it's time to turn his butt around. Let's see. Nothing else to show really here in the overview. Let's go ahead and start with the teleporter. As far as stuff for artists and others are concerned. And here we have our teleporter system in place, and what it does is it takes us from one of our teleport triggers to another whenever the key T is pressed. And we have a cooldown right now between teleport casts. You can go freely between any two linked teleporters, but you have to wait the prerequisite cooldown, which we have right now, set to 4 seconds. So after 4 seconds after going through a portal, you'll be able to go back through a portal. Now that doesn't apply to other portals, so if you go through one and manage within 4 seconds to reach another, you can still go through that other one without a problem. What's really for your artist to look at here is we have our emitters for our particle effects. You guys will be working with me to create shaders and particle effects and whatnot through Blueprint, and as you go we'll add them to our teleporter. Right now we have just a basic one that I downloaded from Infinity Blade. It was a free pack that Unreal offered up. So that's another cool thing about Unreal is you know, they give stuff away for free all the time in addition to their engine. So you know, hooray. And hooray too, everybody. This might be some of your first look at Unreal and Blueprint and what it is we're going to be doing. It's a visual based programming system, and it's really easy to use even for you artist types who, you know, might be a little intimidated by code and stuff. You know, it's fairly intuitive, and Unreal has a lot of support and stuff for learning how to do it and for what each and every function and everything does. So most of the stuff is just as easy as a Google check away to see, well, how do I do such and such? For a lot of you artist types, it's going to be like, how do I apply materials, or how do I do post-processing, or, you know, what have you. And a lot of the stuff you're going to see is going to look a lot like this. It's just going to be a lot of blueprints going out from people just like us, indie making games, as well as from Unreal themselves showing us how to do it. So yeah, that's the teleporter. And here is our enemy character, our first enemy character. And as I said in the update, I'm going to be using this character as the base model pretty much for all of our medium-sized humanoid regular type enemies to go forth and fight our protagonists. Right now we just got a simple zombie in place. He goes back and forth, he sees the player, he comes after the player, he attacks the player. As we go though, I'll be able to do stuff like this animation right here. This flip book is what's causing this entire animation right here, and it's just a series of sprites laid out in a row that it loops over and over and over, and that's our idle animation. We also have a running animation which looks like this, and that's what our character is going to look like anytime they're moving. Go ahead and set it back to the idle animation for the moment. As I said, this is the platform detection. This right here is going to be our attack detection. Bomb, bomb. And this is actually used in navigation too. He's just going to look at it and try to follow it. Anytime he hits an edge, he's going to turn around, and then he's going to see it again on the ground and be like, oh, there you are, and continue chasing it. And it's always going to stay that distance from him, so it sucks to be him. But anyway, inside here is how we, this is how we're going to process our hit detection and what's going on. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but whenever we have overlap, we add the that actor to a list, and then whenever we end our overlap, we take that actor out of the list. And if the list is empty, then we know that we don't have anybody left to go to. So that's pretty much all there is to the enemy character. Now in here is the brains, the zombie controller, and I'll be able to change this out with any other controller as we go forward. I'll be able to make more complicated AIs, like if I want them to jump, if I want them to gang up, or if I want them to, use certain tactics or formations or what have you. I'll be able to throw in different controllers. And right now we just have zombie controller. Any character that gets spawned that has the zombie controller in its AI controller class is going to come out a zombie. Just simple AI without much to do about them. And in here I have everything commented and color coded just for pretty visualization. Another reason why I absolutely love Blueprint and Unreal, because it's so easy to find where anything is. Any other code you go through, even if it's well commented, you gotta parse through line after line after line of syntax and script, and it's just like, oh my god, where is the thing I'm looking for? Well, not so much here in Unreal. We have our blueprint very nicely laid out. Our initialization is when we set up all of our stats and whatnot, and some of our variables, and I'll go ahead and pull the UI out here. This is our in-script scripting editor UI setup thing. It's the basic thing that comes with Unreal. So this is what you're going to see as soon as you open the box. I have the platform sensing here. Anytime that little pill on the ground hits the platform, it's going to say, hey, add that platform to the list. Anytime it passes away from that platform, it's going to say, hey, remove that platform from the list. And here's the update function, the tick. As it was, this is the beating heart of the code every X amount of delta seconds, and that's just whatever the frame rate is, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to run a execution command through this sequence and do all four of these main color-coded functions here. Starting with the attack function. If we have an enemy that's in range and in our attack range, we're going to try and hit him. Otherwise, we're going to see, do we have an enemy in our aggro range? Are we facing them? Once we set that, we're going to move to our movement function. Well, if we don't have an enemy in our aggro range and we're not facing an enemy, then we're just going to continue to patrol. Otherwise, we're going to go chase the enemy until we're in attack range, and then we're going to stop. And then down here we have the animation control. And this is always going to be in the last update function that I'm going to do. So as I continue to add more functions and stuff, this is going to go from 4th to 5th to 6th to whatever, the more complicated the code gets. And all this does is this controls which flipped book we're running at the time based on a simple boolean of what we're doing. So this is good for you animators too. You'll need to go through some stuff like this in your animation blueprints in order to create really smooth running animations with like transition stuff in between this, that, and the other, whatnot. This is basically what it's going to look like. You're going to have a simple bool. It's going to say, for example, is moving. Is our character moving? And this is the switch that controls between our running animation and our idle animation. So if we're moving, we say our idle is not true, and that's this Boolean right here. And we ask if we are running. So if we have been running before, we don't need to set this animation again. We just need to do it once. So if we have been running before, we don't care. We're already set. But if we haven't been running before, we're running now, and now we know we're running. And the opposite is true down here. If we're standing still, we're not running. If we haven't set our idle yet, then we idle. And once we idle, we know we idle. So that's what's going to look like for a lot of the animation and flipbook stuff, or at least as far as like I've seen. But that being said, please don't take my word for it. I'm not the expert when it comes to you guys' stuff. So you want to be inside Unreal and on YouTube looking up stuff. That's how I learned how to do all this. School didn't teach me anything. So don't doubt the power of YouTube. One final thing, and this is a note that I want you guys to know. In the future, we're going to be able to change certain variables and stats that are in the code and whatnot. Something we're going to discuss as a team, fine tune as we alpha and beta play and whatnot. But I want you guys to know that any variable that we can change is going to be highlighted in green, whether or not the pill is green, because as you can see, these pills are different colors. This is a blue pill, and that's a green pill. Whether or not the pill is green doesn't matter, but if it's inside a green box, we can play with it. If it's inside a red box, then I'm the only person that can play with it. These are going to be references, bools, and variables that are inherently vital to the script working, period. And any change to them could break the script and ultimately break the game. So, simple color coding, and I messed it up when I tweaked it. That's okay, I'm just not going to save it. Bloop. And yeah, so all that being said, let's get into like the quick real demo. And as you can see, there's our enemy. Oh yeah, controls, I should probably go over those. WAD, since we don't have any down function, S doesn't do anything. W jumps, A and D, left and right. Spacebar also jumps, so you have that option. Teleporting is as simple as moving over one of these green bars. These are the particle animation I have right now set up for the visual alert as to where our teleporters are. So if you go inside one of these and you hit the T button, you'll teleport to the link to the linked portal. Now this one doesn't have a linked portal, so hitting the T button isn't going to send you anywhere. It's just a start portal that you come back to if you, I don't know, fall off the edge or get to the end of the stage. So as you can see, our enemy saw us, came after us, and then proceeded to go back to patrolling. And he doesn't know we're here again. So we have our aggro and de-aggro system in effect. As you can see, when he's moving, he's going to be doing his little running animation. When he hits an edge, he's going to sit there and pause for a second and stop his animation. And then he's going to proceed to running again. Yay! Hold on. So once you're inside his aggro range and he's facing you, he's going to come charging after you. His run speed increases, and he just gets aggressive on you. As you can see, as he gets into a certain range, he stops, and that's his attack range. So what he's doing right there is every attack speed seconds, he's querying whether or not you're inside his hitbox, and if you are, he's damaging you. I don't have anything built into the character yet to visually represent that. That should be something I have coming up next update. So look forward to that. But anyway, take my word for it, he's sitting there attacking the bejesus out of you. Moving forward, and I know this level is really crappy, as you can see you can't jump on top of those. Those are in the back layer, and all the layers look the same. I'm very sorry about that. I have crappy assets. But here's our first teleporter that we can actually do something with. So as soon as we hover over and hit T, we go through it. And 4 seconds later, we're allowed to go back. Now, we're not allowed to go back until after 4 seconds. So there you go. So keep that in mind. That's something we'll be able to update and edit as we go too. But there you happen. And here is going to be our first boss room. Just a simple, I won't say an easy boss, but using Aria's ability, we're gonna figure out a way past it. So what I've got in effect right now is these little background platforms right here are ready for us to get to, and you teleport back to there from there. the hidden platform, and oh no, we fell through. We're back in the middle of the boss room, and the boss can hurt us. So back through the teleporter again, onto the visually hidden platform, and finally to our destination, and yay, we've cleared the boss room. Welcome back to Mario as ta-ta-da, stairs to the exit. Eee. And back to the entrance. So that concludes the full demo walkthrough of our first demo level, and you know, an introduction to Blueprint and an overview of our intro ZombieAI and character. Hope you guys enjoyed and liked, and I hope it gets you guys as excited as I am, and you know, hurrah, forward we go.